Greetings and welcome to another thrilling and exciting episode of the Planetary Persuader. This is for February 17th, 2017, take 2. And looking at the stars today in the sky, what would we see? Well, we've got a moon in the western sign of Scorpio today. And that's going to move tomorrow, Saturday at 10:52 a.m. Pacific Standard Time into the sign of Sagittarius. We're in between eclipses now. So, since you missed last week, I'm going to do a little recap of what never got broadcast on this thing here. So we had a full moon lunar eclipse in the literal constellation of Cancer, in the nakshatra of Alesha in Vedic astrology. So in Western astrology, that was a Leo full moon. And so, you know, being that the sub-ruling planet of Alesha, besides being lunar ruled itself, and it was a full moon, is Mercury. So it's a real mind trip on what happened. And anyhow, I had a bunch of personal things that went awry in my own life the weekend before that are all resolved now and seem good, and or at least mostly resolved. I mean, there's a few other things, but what we're looking at this week in this waning moon period between eclipses is how to stay in balance. Now, tomorrow, pardon me. At 3:32 a.m., we've got the sun moving into Pisces in Western astrology. So, sun moves into Pisces in Western astrology, and so our focus goes away from so much of our knowledge and our social life into what our personal karma is, what our beliefs are, what our faith is, and how do we universalize love for everyone. And so that's a lot of. Now, Venus has been in Aries, and Venus has been slowing down, and Venus is going to go retrograde in a couple of weeks on the 4th. So that's something super interesting to keep in mind as well. And so there's going to be this Venus is actually going to go retrograde, and then eventually it will go back into Pisces, especially in those, like, in that creative 27 degree place too, by the time we get to early April. So it's a really creative time in a lot of ways. And in Vedic astrology, Venus is in Pisces, very creative. So there's something to look at that. Now, you know, on the other hand too, Western astrology, Mars is in Aries, and Mars in Aries is a real mofo. And can, even though it's exalted in position, it can really cook up the angry fires in a way that is more impulsive, and therefore it's a lot more dangerous than, say, Mars in Scorpio, because it's not as sublimated. It's pretty obvious, and it's super aggressive, and so that's something that, you know, we have to keep in mind as well. Okay, so without any further ado, sign by sign, we're going to do this in this week's episode of the Planetary Persuader. So, all right, we shall begin.